So for those of you that are familiar with me, you know my templates are always free. But for those of you that are new here, get ready to grow your business because I have a ton of free templates for you for those of you that are starting and growing your online business.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
What's up, icons? It's the iconic fashion figure. I wanted to give you guys some more useful templates that you can use for your business. And since we've been on the startup journey, the last few weeks I've been going through the back to the basics to start your business. I'm going to start with the startup checklist template. And the startup checklist is pretty much just as it's called. It's just a checklist making sure you're covering everything to make sure you launch your business properly. So as you can see on the checklist, there's categories such as Brainstorm, because you guys know one of the things I tell you to do before you jump into launching a business is to just take the time to brainstorm and really come up with some ideas, get your mind flowing on what you want to do. This doesn't have to be concrete, but you want to get that creative ideas out and onto paper or on an iPad like I have, wherever you need to put it down. Just make note of it. And some of the things you'll want to brainstorm is like your business name ideas, because that's the fun part, the products and services that you'll be offering, the ideal price point, and there's so much more you can brainstorm, but you want to make sure you check off that brainstorm step before you jump into anything else. And one of the templates we're going to be getting into will be a brainstorm map, so don't worry, I got you covered there for the full brainstorm. And then that next category is going to be your research. Now that you've been brainstorming and now you're excited about jumping into this journey of starting your business, you're going to do your research. And some of those areas that you'll want to research is like your competitors, your target customer, the market trends, and then the name and domain availability of the names that you just brainstorm. So you want to make sure those names are available. You want to make sure you can reserve that domain when we get to that step. Just see what that name is like out there. Are there other businesses with that name? Is it hard to search on Google? Once you hit all of those sections, you check it off. Then you'll go into your registration section where you're getting like your EIN, your LLC, your resale certificate. Some areas have like a county license or permit or a city one as well that you may need to get. Then we'll jump into the development stage where you'll create like your business plan, which I've given you guys a template for that already, so I'll make sure to link it down in the description box, which all of these templates will be linked down in the description box. And then the marketing plan. The marketing plan template will not be in this video, but make sure you subscribe to my channel because part 2 I will have the marketing plan template in there for you guys. And then a budget plan, which I have that template in today's video. And then you'll go into branding where you'll start to figure out your logo, a slogan if you would like one, picking out like your brand's colors, your font, so that way you can create your brand page, which I've given you guys a template for that already as well. And then like business cards and things like that. You want to establish the aesthetic of your business that you are creating. And then you'll go into your account setup, which is like your business bank account, your social media accounts, Dun & Bradstreet. If you're not familiar with that, let me know in the comments and I'll go more into Dun & Bradstreet and building your business credit. And then like your shipping accounts too, because if you're providing a service online, you need to be able to ship those products. And then this is where you'll really jump into actually starting the business. So now you're creating your website, you're buying your inventory, you're doing your photo shoots, and then also buying any other supplies you need to run your business. So those are just some of the basics that I put on the checklist. But then I have an other section where you can actually go in and write in what it is that you need to make sure you get done, and as you get it done, you check it off. And by the way, the app that I'm using, which is not sponsored for this video, but I just want to let you know because I'm sure some of you will ask, I'm using GoodNotes, but these are PDF templates, so you can technically write in them anywhere. You can use Adobe PDF, you can even use like the Photos app in your phone because we have the option to edit and write on there, or the Notes app on iPhone. And the last area on the startup checklist is just a note section. If there's any other things you want to remember to do or make note of, you can write it down in the notes section. But that's it for the checklist. Very straightforward. We just want to make sure we're getting it all done. And when you're starting a new business, you'll think of something you need to do and it might slip your mind later. So you want to make sure you write it down on this checklist so you can make sure you get it done by the time you're ready to launch. Which, by the way, I forgot to completely show you that section on here. I have the anticipated launch date right at the top, so you can write in your date on there of when when you would like to launch. Now, I put in the keyword anticipated launch date because you might write that date from the day of when you start brainstorming, but once you start going through all these steps, your date may change. So that's why it's an anticipated date. You can always change your launch date as you go into setting up your business. But let's move on to the next template. And as I mentioned, I got you guys covered when it comes to your startup brainstorm. So I did create a brainstorm map with some of the things that you'll want to think about when you're in that brainstorming step. For one, you guys can see name ideas. So you can start jotting down some name ideas that you may want to use for your business, and then you can always research those names when you get to the research step. You want to think about things like, how much money are you willing to invest in this business? Or is your business solving a problem? If it's not solving a problem, figure out a problem before you launch and make sure you're solving that. Otherwise, you'll just be yet another business on the internet. Think of some inspiration, especially like different brands you're inspired by. Think about how you're going to find your customers. I know we already talk about the target market and that is on your checklist, so you'll want to talk about what your ideal customer looks like, but you don't want to just end it there when it comes to your customer base. Figure out how you're going to find those customers first and write down some ways that you're going to find your customers. Think about the fact of if you're ready to change your lifestyle or not, because being an entrepreneur is not the same as just working a 9-to-5. Trust me, you're going to have to change your lifestyle. You're going to have to make sacrifices. Think about the fact of if you're ready for that or not. Write down some personal goals that you may need to reach for yourself, as well as some business goals. Think about maybe what your logo will look like. You don't have to design the full logo, but do you just want a simple logo where it's just the business name and a specific font? Are you actually going to have, let's say, what we call it, like a mascot or symbol that represents your brand? Think about, do you need a partner to start this business, or are you well qualified to hit all categories of running a business? Or maybe do you need a team right off the bat to start your business, or maybe the team will come later down the line? Those are just some of the things that I put on the brainstorm map for when you're starting your business. These are some things to get your mind thinking and really determine if it's for you to start a business. And then of course there's a note section for anything else you need to brainstorm and you want to write that down. Continuing on with the startup templates, I also created the startup budget tracker. And this is very important when starting a business because it's very easy to just blow through a bunch of money when starting your business, especially when your income is limited when starting a business. You want to track what it is you're spending so you don't overspend, but you don't also want to be too frugal where you're not covering everything that you need for your business, and then come launch date you don't have everything you need. So let's go through the budget tracker for a startup business. On that budget tracker, you first want to think about, where is this money coming from? Are you investing into your own business, maybe using your current salary to fund your business? Do you have investors? Do you need to crowdfund or build up money? Do you need to find loans and take out loans? Are you using credit cards? Think of all the sources that you're going to use to fund your business and just write down that amount. You can do this as a general number for your entire startup, or like a monthly thing, or maybe you don't have any income right now, so you're going to skip that step entirely and go into your expenses on what is going to cost. And of course, I wrote down some expenses that I know most of you may have to think about when starting your business. If one of these expenses that I have on my list you don't need, you can just cross it out or skip it. But some of the expenses that I put on here is like your business licenses and permits, website, business cards, software that you might need, supplies, your startup inventory, those type of things. So go through the list that I've given you and write down how much you plan to spend in that category. And of course, there's some blank fields on there too for you to add in other things that you might need. And as you purchase those things, you can go ahead and just check those items off. Basically, once you figure out all the expenses for you to start up, you can tally that up and get your total cost of how much it's going to cost you to start your business. And some of you may like to work backwards like me, where I will go through my expenses first, get my total cost, then figure out where my income is coming from so I can decide where I need to pull this money from to cover this total. Then at the bottom, you can also tally that up as well. So you can put on here for your expenses. Let's say you expected to spend $1,000 to start your business. Income, you know you have $0 budgeted to begin with, but you're gonna rob Peter to pay Paul, and you're gonna pull this money from somewhere, wherever you can. So now for your actual income, let's say you were able to come up with $700. Some way, somehow, a miracle happened. God blessed you. However, you got that $700. But let's say because you only were able to come up with $700, you spent an actual $650, you had to cross off some of your expenses because you couldn't cover those with the money that you have. And right now all you have is $50 to put in the bank because you had to open up your business bank account with some sort of money. That'll let you know the difference. So you were up $700 on your income, but you were short $350. So now you know you need to come up with that other $350 to cover the rest of the expenses that you couldn't complete by launch date. This total savings, technically you would have $50 here because we didn't spend all $700, and then your net balance of course is just going to be the $50. But this is for those of you that are starting up to try to figure this out. I'm going to also in part 2 have a monthly budget tracker on there so you can keep track of your monthly expenses for those of you that have already launched, to make sure you're staying within budget and make sure you don't go into the red, because you don't want your business to fail because you are negative on your funds. But that is the startup budget tracker. Let me go into the next template. Oh, and before I get into the next template, actually, for those of you that have been downloading my free Canva website, I know some of you have been commenting recently saying that the template is not allowing you to open it once you download it from my website and try to open that template in Canva. Canva's made a lot of changes since I originally posted that free Canva website video. So I did find a workaround. I'm gonna have to do a separate video show you guys the workaround, but I'm gonna update that template too to just fit their updates on Canva, so hopefully it'll work for you guys. So come back for part 2 of my free business templates and I'll have that update for the free Canva website as well. But getting into the next template, and the next template is going to be your product inventory. Now most of you will most likely have a website, so you won't technically need a template for inventory, like you won't manually track your inventory because your website should do that for you, unless you're using the free Canva website like I talked about. That won't really track your inventory, but here's a way you can track it. And this is very easy, very straightforward. Even though my website tracks my inventory, I still use something similar to this for myself when I'm first creating new styles, because that's how I keep up my styles. So in that first category, I put date received, and I like to put the date received so that way I know how long a style has been in inventory. You can also do that as the date purchased, but I like to do the day that I actually receive it in because I know it came in. Sometimes things can get canceled, sometimes things are delayed, so I prefer to go by the received date. So let's say I received it on 7/1, and then that next section is for the product. If you have a SKU, you'll want to put the product SKU in there. You can put a description, but the one thing I will recommend to put in there is like color and size, especially if you have styles that have multiple different colors or multiple different sizes. I would separate the sizes by line. So for example, my product, because I use style numbers, I put NR 9000, the color is blue, the size is small. Then the next line, I will have medium and I will have large, but you can write the whole thing down. I'm just doing it quickly. Then you'll want to write the quantity, how many you have of each color, each size, and each style. Write down the cost that you had to pay to your supplier. And then you guys can use my product pricing video to help you determine how much you're selling that product for. And I'm just making up numbers on this video. I put that I paid $10 for it, but I'm selling it for $30. That will give me a profit of $20. Now at the bottom of this product inventory tracker, I put the potential profit that you can make. So I put potential because that would mean you're selling it at full price for every single piece. Now of course, if you offer promo codes, if you have to mark anything down, your profit won't be as high, but that just gives you an idea based off everything that you have in your inventory, how much money you can potentially make. So for each line, as you can see, I put that my profit will be $20, but that's $20 for one piece. I put on here I have 2 of each size. Technically be $40 in profit per line, which means for those 3 styles that I put on my inventory list, I can potentially make a total of $120. Again, these numbers are made up, but I just wanted to show you guys how this template works. So you will go through and just write down all the styles that you have in your inventory, write the date that you received it, and then let's say in like 3 months, so I put on here July 1st, first date that came to mind, but let's say we're now in November and you still haven't sold through all these styles. I can see, okay, I've had this since July and it's November. Let me go ahead and mark this down so I can push this out and get rid of it. You don't want to sit on inventory too long. But that is your product inventory tracker. And then I have one more template I want to show you guys in this video. Part 2, I'll definitely have more templates for you guys, especially for those of you that have already started your business. But this one you may have seen in a previous video, and that is the habit tracker. You guys know I'm all about goals. I tell you to make goals for yourself, write them down, and do everything you can to stay on track with those goals. The habit tracker is to help you to stay on track with your goals. So on the habit tracker, you will write down your goal, whatever your goal is, and it can be a daily goal. Well, the habit tracker I technically wouldn't use for a daily goal, but let's say a weekly goal or a monthly goal. Write down whatever that goal is. It can be monetary, it can be social media wise, whatever it is you need. Let's say it's monetary and we know for whatever month we want to make $10,000. So now we need to figure out what it is we need to do to hit that $10,000. So whether we're posting on social media, I'm just gonna write SM because I'm about to drop my iPad out my hand. But let's say we put social media. We need to make sure we do social media posts every single day. As you can see, I have the 7 days of the week. So as I make that post on social media, because I'm using social media as my free marketing to help me make money, I'll check it off to make sure, I'm hitting that. And you want to make sure you do it. Of course, if there's a day I forget to engage in social media, post on social media, exit because I didn't hit my goal for that day. Same thing with your daily sales. Let's say we know we want to hit $10,000 by the end of the month. To break it down across 30 days, I'm going to say 350. So we know we want to do 350 per day. Now we use our habit tracker to determine on Sunday, did I hit it? No, I didn't. But on Monday, I hit 350. Tuesday, I hit 350, and so on. You just keep doing that. You figure out all your habits that you need to do to achieve your end goal. And then each day, you want to make sure you're hitting your habits. Now, at the bottom, there's more ways to really break this down so you can really think about this. I told you guys I'm really into goals, so I really need to break everything down. So my plan of attack, I already know how much I need to do daily. I know I need social media posts, stories, email campaigns. Like I'm gonna write down, sheesh, my handwriting is sloppy, but I'm trying so hard not to drop my iPad. Anyway, let me use my stand. It's literally right in front of me. But you're going to write down your plan of attack on everything that you need to do in order to make sure you're hitting that goal. Next, you're going to think about possible roadblocks. For example, I'm forgetful, so I might forget to post. Or another roadblock, let's say 10,000. Trying to think of what other roadblock I can hit that. Oh, maybe returns. You might hit a return right towards the end of your month and it brings you lower than your goal. Think of anything that's going to stop you from hitting that goal. And then my reflection section, I usually use at the end of that goal. So I go back and look at what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What did I do well? Because I don't want to just think about the negative. I put on there, did I actually meet that goal? Was I really close to meeting that goal? Did I not even come close to the goal? I usually like to focus on what happened on those days where I have those X's, so I was missing my habit for that day. Why did I miss my habit for that day? So you just write your reflection at the end, so that way it can help you out the next time around when you're making sure you're hitting your goals. So those are 5 different templates that I'm giving you guys that you can use, and they're very useful for those of you that are running an online business or getting ready to start an online business. As I've mentioned a couple times in this video already, I am going to have a part 2 with even more templates, especially for those of you that are actively running your businesses right now. These templates are very useful to make sure you're staying on track. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so that way you don't miss part 2. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. But that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching.